And now we ask it to explain the file. Prompt injection happens, and the data is gone. Hello, everybody. Let's talk about Cursor today, and I would like to show you how it was possible to steal all your developer secrets and the memories that Cursor stores about you with the use of Mermaid, which is a tool that Cursor actually supports. So what is Mermaid? Let me show you here a very brief example. So within Cursor, you can say something like create a simple diagram, a Mermaid diagram that shows a user to computer interaction, and then display it here. Doesn't need any tools or any small talk. We just want to see the diagram. And this is basically a Mermaid diagram. The syntax for this is actually very simple. So if you want to have very structured output, you can just really tell the model how to render the output, and you're going to get, so this is user to computer. This is literally what you get. You can define more nodes and so on. And when I noticed this behavior, that this rendering of Mermaid diagrams is possible, right? The big question was, can this also like embed images within the diagram? So I asked it to create a diagram that has the text Johan is here, and then below it, it shows an image. And as you can see here, it did exactly that. So it reached out to this web server to download the image and display it. And as you know, if you follow my research, right, this is a very popular problem in AI applications that we can use such an outbound image request for exfiltrating information. The question was, how can this be possible with Cursor? And the very simple demo that I came up with, I just created a source code file and added a comment in the file to ask, to hijack the model basically, and then render the content. And then when you interact with that file and you would say something, I explain the file, it would follow the exact instructions and print the image in the middle of the diagram. When I shared this research with Cursor, I actually demonstrated, or I shared two exploits with them, and I would like to show both of them to you now. The first one was about exfiltrating developer secrets. So imagine you have a C# application and an app.config file that contains an Anthropic API key. So the goal now was to build a prompt injection that hijacks Cursor, which you showed earlier already. But then in addition here, we search for the Anthropic API key. And you can see here that Cursor actually starts the grep tool to find such secrets. It finds it in the app.config file. And then it follows exactly the instructions in the prompt injection, which is to render the Mermaid diagram, right? It renders secrets, go to Cursor, and then goes to the image. And that image is retrieved remotely, and the query parameter that then contains the secret, and the attacker receives the secret. The second scenario that I shared with Cursor was actually about stealing the stored memories that Cursor has about you. It's maybe less known, but Cursor has memories. You can actually ask it to remember things about you, about your coding habits, and so on. And here you can see I have two memories stored. One is your name is Johan, and the other one is that I like ice cream and cookies. And so here we have Cursor again, and I just ask it to list all my memories. So now it calls the memory tool, retrieves those memories, and this is something an attacker could do during a prompt injection as well, which is what we're going to do now. So here you have the attacker server that is listening for any data that would come in. And then we just ask about a file again, the Mermaid demo file, and it gets prompt injected, and it actually happens all really quickly, right? So all of the data is gone already, and you can see here the memories were sent to the attacker, including the username is Johan and the user likes ice cream and cookies. And to look at the exact prompt injection payload here, this is the corresponding prompt injection. You can see that I just was very precise in how I want the image or the diagram to be rendered, right? With memories, go to cursor, cursor goes to image, and then the image is defined as that remote resource that, as part of the outbound request, inserts the memories in one sentence, and URL encodes it. I also added this instruction, ensure valid Mermaid syntax, because sometimes it was not valid, and then it wouldn't actually render the diagram. But this was very reliable, actually. And yeah, so Cursor fixed this in the version 1.3 that came out a few days ago. So make sure to upgrade. They also credited me with the CVE for this finding. It was actually very great to work with the Cursor team to get this fixed. And also for testing, I think it's important that we now start looking for mermaid rendering opportunities as part of testing. So I hope that this was interesting and have a great day. Bye bye.